Chapter 8. The Cliff Path. The cellar door slammed with a violence that felt intentional, as though the house itself had thrown its weight behind it. Nesrine reached the top of the stairs first, her breath sharp, her hand already on the handle. It wouldn't budge. Arthur joined her, shoulder braced against the wood. "Move!" Together they shoved. The door gave way with a splintering crack, swinging open into a corridor lit only by the intermittent flash of lightning. The storm had grown monstrous in the minutes they'd been below. Wind howling through the cracks in the shutters, rain slashing sideways as though hurled by an unseen hand. "He's heading for the cliffs," Nesrine said. Arthur didn't question her. He didn't need to. They ran. The corridor felt narrower than before, the walls closing in, the floorboards groaning under their weight. The house seemed to resist their passage, as though trying to keep them inside, away from the storm, away from the truth. But Nesrine pushed through, her coat snapping behind her like a dark banner. They burst out the back door into a wall of wind. The rain hit them instantly, cold and punishing. The cliff path stretched ahead, a thin, treacherous ribbon carved into the rock, slick with moss and seawater. The sea roared below, waves smashing against the cliffs with a fury that felt personal. Arthur shielded his eyes. "There!" A figure moved along the path, fast, sure-footed, almost graceful despite the storm. The sixth guest. His coat flapped wildly, his silhouette flickering in and out of view as the lightning tore across the sky. Nesrine sprinted after him. The wind shoved her sideways, nearly sending her over the edge. Arthur grabbed her arm, steadying her, then pushed her forward. "Go!" She ran harder. The path narrowed, the drop beside her plunging into a churning void of black water and white foam. The storm swallowed sound, swallowed breath, swallowed everything except the pounding of her heart and the distant retreating figure ahead. The sixth guest didn't look back. He didn't need to. He knew they were coming. Nesrine shouted over the wind, "Stop!" Her voice was torn away instantly. Arthur caught up beside her, his boots slipping on the wet stone. "He knows this path. He's done this before." Nesrine nodded, breath burning. "He's leading us somewhere." Lightning split the sky, illuminating the cliff face. Jagged, ancient, unforgiving. The sixth guest reached a bend in the path and disappeared behind a curtain of rain. Nesrine pushed forward, rounding the bend, and stopped. The path widened into a natural ledge, a flat outcrop overlooking the sea. The sixth guest stood at the edge, his back to them, his coat plastered to his body by the rain. The wind whipped around him, tugging at him like a lover trying to pull him home. He didn't turn when Nesrine approached. "You came," he said. His voice was calm, too calm. Nesrine stepped closer, her boots slipping on the slick stone. "You don't have to do this." He laughed softly. "Don't I?" Arthur moved to flank him, careful, deliberate. "You came back to finish something, but it doesn't have to end like this." The man finally turned. His face was wet with rain, but his eyes, dark, hollow, shining with something like relief, were dry. "You don't understand," he said. "It already ended. Years ago, when they left me behind." Nesrine's voice softened. "You wanted them to see you." "I wanted them to remember me," he said. "Just once." "They will," she said. "I promise you, they will." He smiled, a small, broken thing. "That's not enough." A gust of wind slammed into them, nearly knocking Arthur off balance. The sixth guest stepped backward, his heels at the very edge of the cliff. Nesrine reached out instinctively. "Don't!" He looked at her with a strange tenderness. "You're the first person who ever listened to me," he said. "But even you can't change what I am." Lightning flashed, the sea roared, and the sixth guest stepped back into nothing. Nesrine lunged forward, but Arthur caught her, pulling her away from the crumbling edge. The man's body vanished into the storm, swallowed by the waves below. For a moment, the world held still. Then the wind screamed and the cliff shuddered beneath them. Arthur pulled Nesrine back toward the path. "We need to get inside, now." She didn't move. Her eyes were fixed on the place where he had fallen, her breath shallow, her pulse a drumbeat of disbelief and inevitability. "He wanted to disappear," she whispered. Arthur tightened his grip on her arm. He already had. The storm raged around them, merciless and wild. Behind them, Birkin House loomed through the rain, silent, watching, remembering. It always remembered,